Hello students and welcome back to BankExamsToday.com. My name is Ramandeep Singh. Students, Bank of Baroda Sales Manager Scale 2 exam is going to happen on 23rd of November 2025. 23 November को exam होने वाला है. And today I'm going to share 58 most important questions from our power capsule. So I'll be sharing questions from RBI Circulars, Negotiable Instrument Acts, Government Scheme. बहुत सारे अच्छे questions आज मैं share करूँगा. So this is part of the Power Capsule. Power Capsule is available on BankExamsToday.com and there are total 2500 questions. 2500 बहुत important MCQs are available in the Power Capsule. You'll be getting questions, 600 questions from marketing management, पूरी marketing management, marketing planning, strategy, types, digital marketing, उसके बाद strategic management, का पूरा प्रोसेस, एक्सटर्नल एनालिसिस, इंटरनल एनालिसिस, बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजीज सारा कवर करा है. मार्केटिंग रिसर्च के टॉपिक्स कवर करे हैं. नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट एक्ट विच इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, MSME ED एक्ट, कॉइनेज, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, SARFAESI, RBI एक्ट, ये सारा बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन, ये सारा हमने कवर करा है. बैंकिंग लॉ अमेंडमेंट एक्ट 2025, RBI circulars for last 1 year. Along with that, we have done master circulars like KYC, AML, प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग, बेसल नॉर्म्स, एक्सपोजर नॉर्म, ये सारा हमने कवर करा है. उसके बाद सारी गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स के 360 क्वेश्चंस, मुद्रा स्कीम, जनधन योजना, विश्वकर्मा, जीवन ज्योति बीमा योजना, स्वनिधि, ये सारा हमने कवर करा है. PMEG, PCGT, MSc. एंड देन फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट में से रेशियो एनालिसिस, वर्किंग कैपिटल मैनेजमेंट, इंडियन फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम, डेरिवेटिव्स, ये सारा कवर करा है. पिछले कुछ एक एग्जाम्स में प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ मैनेजमेंट भी आने लग गया, तो वो भी हमने क्वेश्चंस ऐड करे हैं. Then 300 questions from capital market, money market instruments, foreign currency accounts, banking reforms, news related to banking, बैंक गारंटी वगैरह से हमने क्वेश्चंस ऐड करे हैं. देन 180 क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ मैनेजमेंट, इंट्रोडक्शन टू मैनेजमेंट, प्लानिंग, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग, स्टाफिंग, डायरेक्टिंग, ये सारा हमने ऐड करा है. राइट. So that's what's there in the power capsule. 2500 questions, most important questions available in the power capsule. So we'll be sharing 58 most important questions from the power capsule. Power capsule से ही हमें questions उठाए हैं, वो आज मैं share करूँगा. So इसी format में है directly questions. According to a recent RBI circular, which of the following are eligible for corporate debt instruments for investment through SRVA? So students, the RBI allowed the exporters, जो भी उनके पास excess funding है, whatever the excess money that they are having, in the past they could invest the same money in government securities. जो excess money थी exporters के पास, they could invest that money, whatever the surplus money that they are having in SRV accounts, in the government securities. But now the government or the RBI allowed the SRV account holder to invest their excess money in the non-convertible debentures, corporate debt instruments में invest कर सकते हैं. The RBI circular dated 7th of October 2025 extended the integrated ombudsman scheme. So integrated ombudsman scheme, आपका बैंक के साथ कोई dispute है, कोई कंप्लेंट करी है आपने बैंक को, लेकिन सोल्यूशन नहीं मिल रहा है, तो बैंक है NBFC के पास, तो आप इंटीग्रेटेड ओम्बुड्समैन में जाके आप कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो, कंप्लेंट रेज कर सकते हो. नाउ द इंटीग्रेटेड ओम्बुड्समैन स्कीम इज आल्सो एप्लीकेबल टू स्टेट एंड सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स. सो ये रिसेंट अक्टूबर का ही सर्कुलर है. अंडर द FEMA फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट regulations 2025, who is permitted to open and maintain a foreign currency account outside India? A person resident in India being an exporter, he can maintain a foreign currency account outside India. As per nomination facility, again an RBI circular from the month of October, as per the nomination facility wala jo circular hai, the bank must offer the nomination facility in which of the following: in deposit accounts, safe deposit lockers, article kept in safe deposit. So आपके सेविंग्स अकाउंट और जो लॉकर्स के अकाउंट हैं उसके भी नॉमिनेशन देने चाहिए. वैसे बैंक ऑफर करेगा. इफ़ यू डू नॉट वांट नॉमिनेशन फैसिलिटी, यू नीड टू मेंशन इट कि मुझे नहीं चाहिए. राइट. वो फॉर्म भरना पड़ेगा सेपरेटली. Which of the following is an eligible form of collateral under the RBI Directions 2025? So gold jewelry of at least 22 carat purity can be an eligible form of collateral. ठीक है. रॉ फॉर्म में कोई गोल्ड है, बुलियन बार है, दैट इज नॉट अ सिक्योरिटी. ईटीएफ्स, सिल्वर कॉइन, मतलब गोल्ड के जो बार्स हैं, जो रॉ गोल्ड मिलता है, रॉ सिल्वर है, दैट कैन नॉट बी यूज्ड एज कोलेट्रल. एंड सिल्वर ऑफ 925 प्योरिटी, वो भी जो है एज अ सिक्योरिटी कैन बी यूज्ड. In an internal credit rating system, what does a triple B rating indicates? Moderate credit risk. Okay. Under the Basel 2, Basel 3 norms, internal credit rating systems are mainly used to calculate capital requirement for the credit risk. So we have already discussed the Basel 3 norms in detail. RBI का master circular है, आप पढ़ सकते हो उसे. Once a bank guarantee is issued, disputes between the applicant and beneficiary do not affect the bank's obligation to pay, right? एक बार बैंक गारंटी इशू होगी and there is a dispute between applicant and the beneficiary, bank's liability is there. Okay. As per section 20 of Negotiable Instruments Act, an instrument on which the payee or the amount is not mentioned is called the inchoate instrument. So if the payee or the amount is not mentioned, it is inchoate or incomplete in terms of essentials. So it can be completed later. आप इस पे अमाउंट भर सकते हो, सिग्नेचर्स करे हुए हैं, आपने अमाउंट भर दिया, एंड इट कैन बी इन्फोर्सेबल, राइट? सो इट इज एन इंचोवेट इंस्ट्रूमेंट. द पेज नेम और द अमाउंट इज नॉट मेंशन्ड, बट ऐसा कभी मत करो. इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द बेरर चेक. As per the Banking Laws Amendment Act, so we have covered in detail on the YouTube as well. YouTube पे हमने डिटेल में ये पढ़ा है. The substantial interest in a banking company, for example HDFC Bank में आपके पास shares हैं. So what makes you a substantial interest person? आपके पास substantial interest है, ये कब कहेंगे? And the substantial interest we are counting is from face value of shares. So face value हो सकता है ₹10 हो एक शेयर की, market value हो सकता है ₹2000 है या 5000 है. Market value changes every moment, every day. So in the past it was 5 lakh rupees, but now it is 2 crores. 2 करोड़ रुपए के अगर आपके पास जो फेस वैल्यू है शेयर्स की उतने हैं, then you are having a substantial interest in the banking company. What is the reduced timeline for banks to submit statutory return after reporting dates? It is 5 days. 5 days के अंदर banks they need to submit their statutory returns after reporting date as per 2025 Banking Law Amendment Bill, right? The law of limitation protects against continuous threat of court cases after the time lapse. So after the time lapse, under the law of limitation, अलग अलग कैटेगरीज पे एक टाइम लिमिट सेट है. तब तक आप अगर क्लेम नहीं करते, केस नहीं फाइल करते, तो उसके बाद जो है केस फाइल नहीं किया जा सकता, राइट? So prescribes a period to enforce right in the court. According to the Coinage Act, which entity is responsible for issuing currency notes and coins of ₹1 and lower denominations? It's the Government of India. Government of India is responsible for issuing currency notes and coins of ₹1 and lower denominations. Okay. Very important question. Which entity is responsible for establishment and operation of mints as per Coinage Act? It is SPMCIL, Security Printing and Minting Corporation of India. Which year did RBI officially allow video KYC? ये 2020 में allow किया था RBI ने. And KYC is mandated under the PMLA Act 2002. Why did Tandon Committee recommend financing core current asset and with long-term funds to reduce the risk of liquidity crisis? Which committee's recommendations form the basis of modern working capital finance policies for MSMEs in India? It is the Nayak Committee. Nayak Committee gave the recommendation कि जो टोटल वर्किंग कैपिटल है 20% बोरोवर जो है उसको फंड करेगा, 80% बैंक फंड करेगा. So Naya Committee's turnover method is a most widely used approach for MSME working capital. Each bank is having its own formula to calculate the working capital. Under the Naya Committee recommendation, what percentage of annual turnover must MSMEs contribute as their own funds for the working capital? 5% total turnover का as a working capital business खुद जो fund करेगा, 20% जो है बैंक फंड करेगा. 25% की रिक्वायरमेंट है, बैंक was going to fund 20%, that customer is going to fund 5%, right? So under the Banking Regulation Act 1949, what is the maximum percentage of voting rights that can be held by any individual or entity in banking company? It's a 26% maximum percentage of voting right hai, that can be held by any individual or an entity in a banking company. A check issued by a company is dishonored. Who will be held liable under the Negotiable Act? Directors and the persons in charge at the time. In case of a company, directors and the person in charge at the time, they'll be held liable. A check is said to be dishonored when it is returned unpaid due to insufficient funds. If there is no money in the account, then it will be said to be having a check is said to be dishonored due to insufficiency of funds. Under the NI Act, Negotiable Instruments Act 1881, the presumption in the favor of holder, also known as holder in due course, under section 139 is rebutable, right? It is rebutable. The holder is said to be the person who's correct. Under section 139, the holder of the check received for its discharge of debt or liability. The presumption is rebutable means the accused can prove otherwise. जिसने check दिया है, जिसने signature करे हैं, he needs to prove it that he is innocent या check गलती से या चोरी करके लिया गया है. So जिसने check काटा है उसको prove करना है, जिसके पास check है वो prove नहीं करेगा, right? Moving forward. Which of the following is not a guideline for classification of assets? So accounts with a moratorium for payment of interest. So ये important नहीं है. In how many categories banks are required to classify non-performing assets? NPAs are classified in 3 categories. Substandard, doubt and loss assets. These are the 3 kinds of NPAs. And if the payment is due for up to 12 months, it's substandard. If the payment is due for more than 12 months, it's doubtful. And if it is marked as uncollectible, it is a loss asset. Which committee recommends that the bank should adopt uniform accounting practices in regard to income recognition and bad debts? It is Narsimham Committee which recommended uniform accounting practices. Are service charges allowed on priority sector lending loans up to 50,000 rupee? No charges are allowed on PSL loans up to 50,000 rupee. 50,000 रुपए तक के PSL loans पे कोई charges नहीं लिए जा सकते. Which platform is used for trading PSL certificates? So now RBI allows the banks to trade the priority sector lending certificates. So obviously if one bank is unable to achieve its priority sector lending target, it can buy priority lending certificates from bank B who has overachieved its priority lending targets. So they can trade the PSL certificates on eCober platform. What is the loan limit for farmer producer organizations under the PSL? It is the 10 crore rupee is the loan limit. These kind of questions you will see in your exam. It's a kind of important question. Which of the following is not considered a weaker section under PSL? So high net worth individuals, obviously. Please read the complete list of weaker section. It's important. What is the interest subsidy provided under PM Savnidhi? 7% of interest subsidy is provided to the street vendors who took loan under PM Savnidhi for working capital. So the legal provision under MSME Samadhan is based upon MSME ED Act. So we have already covered the MSME ED Act and the MSME Samadhan scheme. What is the coverage percentage under the CGT MSE for retail activities? It's 50%. It's 50%. The guarantee covered for the retail activities 50% under CGT MSE for obviously for retail. Who is eligible for procurement and marketing support scheme? Manufacturing and service sector MSE with valid Udyam registration certificate. What is the daily stipend provided under the PM Vishwakarma Yojana for skill upgradation? So skill upgradation की आप training लेते हो under Vishwakarma, you'll be getting a stipend of 500 rupees per day. What is the minimum number of withdrawals allowed in a month for BSBD account? 4 withdrawals are allowed in the BSBD accounts, free of cost. What is the overdraft allowed to the account holder after 6 months of satisfactory operation of PM Jan Dhan Yojana account? It's 5,000 rupee. Generally, it's 5,000 rupee at least. Under the PME GP scheme, what percentage of the project cost can a general category beneficiary in an urban area can expect as a subsidy? 15% subsidy मिलेगी. The subsidy is different for general category, urban area, rural area. उसको female को ज़्यादा मिलती है, SC ST वालों को ज़्यादा मिलती है, right? To calculate capital adequacy ratio, the banks are required to take into account which kind of risk: credit risk, market risk, operational risk. So CAR is calculated by considering all these risks. What is the name of government mandated repository where customer KYC data is stored? It's very important. CKYCR. So most of the students को पता ही होगा, लेकिन UID और CKYC में R में doubtful होंगे. Central KYC Records Registry, it's a full form. What is the total capital requirement for banks under Basel 3 in India? It is 11.5%. It's an important question. Total capital requirement under the Basel 3 norms is 11.5%. Which of the following ratios ensures that the bank do not take excessive leverage? It is the leverage ratio. The leverage ratio, tier 1 capital divided by the total exposure. What is the risk weight for residential housing loans above 30 lakh rupee with LTV of less than equal to 75%? It is 75%. Basel norms के अंदर risk जो assets की जो weighted risk weighted value निकालते हैं, for that the risk weight is 75% for housing loans up to above 30 lakh rupee and LTV 75% से equal या कम है, so it is 75%. Which of the following is not one of the 4 P's of marketing mix? People is not. It's product, price, place and promotions. Which of the following SWOT elements are internal factors for a business? Strength and weakness, business की अपनी है. Opportunity and threats, it's external in nature. What does star symbolizes in BCG matrix? Star is symbolized as growth. So BCG matrix में star is a growth. Which of the following method of sales promotion? All of the above. So money of coupons देना, discount voucher या कोई competition करवा देना. So all these are the method of sale promotions. Whole cluster of benefits when company promises to deliver through its market offering is called value proposition. So what are the benefits that the company is providing? It's value proposition. In a marketing research process, primary data can be collected through experiments, surveys, observations से collect कर सकते हो. Selling is the first and foremost transaction between the seller and prospective buyer or the buyer where money is exchanged for goods and services. It involves the sales oriented approach. What is the role of central registry under the SARFAESI Act to maintain record of all secured financial transactions? जितने भी लोन है वो सबका डेटा है. The break-even point, it's really important question, अच्छा question है. Where sales number is equal to total cost, where there is no profit, no loss. ऐसा situation कितनी unit of goods आपको बेचने हैं जहाँ पे no profit, no loss है. The LRS scheme currently allows $250,000 per year का remittance allowed है. In the past it was $150,000, but now 2.5 lakh हो चुका है. The FCNR account is maintained in any permitted foreign currency. It is allowed. US dollar, pounds, euros and Japanese yen में allowed है. Which of the following is not a feature of bank? They cannot manufacture the currency. They can lend money, accept deposit and offer check facilities. Under the RBI Act, which fund is maintained by RBI to meet the unforeseen contingencies? It's a contingency fund. Minimum credit rating required to issue commercial paper in India is A3. Okay, it's A3 now. The confirmed letter of credit involves issuing the bank. So it's a kind of letter of credit issued by issuing bank, plus a second bank is providing guarantee, because nobody trusts that issuing bank. हो सकता है issuing bank को कोई trust नहीं करता. I mean, for example, you are getting an LC from a bank in Nigeria or Lagos, right? But you do not have trust in that unknown bank. You can ask for a second bank's guarantee. So that particular bank is going to get a guarantee from a well-known bank. Which of the following is governed by lease agreement in banker-customer relationship? The locker facility, it's a kind of lease agreement. The bank is providing a space to the customer, right? So that आप अपने valuables को वहाँ रख सको. So that's, I guess, all for today, students. This is a list of our successful students in the past. All these students that took our courses in the past and they cracked their respective exams. And if there is any doubt in your mind, please ask your doubts and I'm going to answer all your doubts. आप कभी भी अपने doubts जो है वो पूछ सकते हो. मैं आपके सारे doubts को answer करूँगा. That's all for today, students. Thank you and have a very nice day. Bye-bye.